Okay, good morning, everyone. We're here for the Village of Airmont Community Design Review Committee, Tuesday, March 14th, 11 a.m. Via Zoom. Our first application is the Congregation Tehillah Lodavad at 1 Larissa Court. It's for the proposed residential house of worship, and they have proposed site plan and architecturals. And I believe we have Mr. Sternwurzel and Mr. Baum. Today's Pi Day. I just realized that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There we go. Okay, I hope everybody's safe and didn't have too much problem with the snow. Seems like you guys got nothing in Rockland, huh?
I don't know. I'm home.
Got about
Nothing over here.
Orange County, we got about 5 inches.
Yeah, we got about 6 here, but I see the roads look almost just wet. No snow on the side roads there, but.
Yeah.
All right, well, good morning, everybody. So we're here for this application. We submitted our supplemental narrative addressing the prior comments from the consultants. And we're here for the continued review of the project and for any further comments from the CDRC so we can move this project along. So the only memo that I've received is from Fusco Engineering of March 13th. I don't know if there are any other review memos that have been prepared.
I didn't receive anything else, but the Tallman Fire did say that they were not able to, they had to go, the person who does the reviews had to go out of town. So they did get the submission. They may have comments or might have comments when they go to the next step. So I'm just letting you know that's why I don't have any from Tallman.
Okay.
John, do
Yep,
you want to go over your letter?
Yep, let me just interject. So yeah, there were a bunch of changes done to the plans. And the plans are much clearer with regard to electronic submissions, so that definitely makes it easier. Appreciate that. Just 3 comments under planning that, this is an unlisted action and will require a seeker resolution and a public hearing. And then comment 2 is essentially a repeat comment. There are a total of 7 variances. So part of the goal of good planning, I think, is to try to reduce and or eliminate variances whenever possible. So the applicant should discuss if there's any way that we can reduce these variances. It is a total of 7. Under the engineering comments, I just had a few comments left. So the applicant's proposing the infiltration dry wells to offset the increase in runoff. So we're just asking that an infiltration test be done just to make sure that the soil has the capacity to support infiltration. And just waiting on the county health, Ramapo, DPW, and the county sewer. And then the last comment I had was pertained to the engineer had responded that, if I'm not mistaken, that the potential fire and fire trucks and a potential fire would actually not enter the site, but would suppress the fire from the road. And I don't know, if there's a hydrant close by, and typically we want to make sure, obviously a fire truck cannot back out, but if necessary, you can at least hang that turn coming in to get into the parking lot if necessary. So that's the only comments we have remaining.
Lou, do you have anything?
Yeah, I do. I have some questions on the supplemental narrative. It says the application requires 7 variances. The response from Mr. Baum was the property is the current residence of a rabbi and his family. The rabbi cannot just sell his home and move to a new house and seeks approval to use his residence as a house of worship. Currently, the house is a house of worship. Now what you're trying to or hoping to do is to build a new house of worship and add more additional rooms to the house. So it's little confusing there. And one of the comments from the fire inspector says the basement currently has no CO as a house of worship and there's violations that exist. And your reply was comment noted. I don't know what that means. Does it mean that you know there's violations that exist and that it's not a legal house of worship?
So I think my comment was where we recognized that that was a comment.
Oh,
And it will be addressed. I did receive the most recent court notice scheduling this matter for April 20th. So obviously that's something that has to be responded to and addressed. So we plan on doing that.
There's a lot of variances required on this house, and currently, or the planned use of this house will have 10 bedrooms, 16 toilets, 8 showers or tubs, and 2 laundry rooms on the house side, and 18 bathrooms on the shul side. I mean, that seems like a bit excessive for a residential house of worship. Is there any way we can try and make this a little bit smaller?
I believe that's been explored, and this was, the minimum necessary that the rabbi needed to provide adequate space for his congregants. So we can take a look at it, but I wasn't involved in this in the early get-go. I only came in a couple months ago. I assumed that analysis was done, but we can certainly take a look at it. But as you know, the rabbi has a very big family. He has 13 children, plus his grandchildren. And he has, them come over and they sleep there. So he's making room for accommodate his family with regard to the residential portion of the house.
Okay.
And
I also have one other question. The county records show that as a construction business registered to this address. Is there an office there for the construction business?
that I don't know anything about.
TNS Construction is registered through County Consumer Protection at that address.
What was it called? TNS?
TNS Construction.
I will certainly look into that, Lou, and let you know.
Thank you.
Hi, Lou.
Yes,
Yeah, it's Eliza Steinwurzel. How are you?
good. How are
morning.
you?
Okay, so regarding the TNS construction, you had asked me that question. I think we once spoke about it also. It's only a mailing address. My actual physical office is at 104 Highview Road in Suffern, New York. It does not, I only get mailing. I actually get a lot of mail there. We have different companies, a bunch of different companies that all my mail comes there. There's no physical office at my house. I'm renting that place already for 6 years now. Originally, when I did start as a home office, but that was in 2013. I'm 6 years out of my house. So, and I just keep my mail there because I'm in a renting place. And, you know, if I change offices, I don't want to have to start changing my mailing address for everything.
Sure. There's just
Also regarding, just one more question, you know, the numbers of the bathrooms and sounded like much more than I have on my plan. Again, what are you seeing on my plan? How many bathrooms in my house? With the extension. I mean, I have existing right now, we have one bathroom on the main floor. It's we have 2 full bathrooms on the second floor. And I think in my plan, I'm only adding another 2 or 3 bathrooms. So that would be a total of 6 upstairs for the house. And we're adding, I think, also 3 bedrooms there, right?
you're adding 7
3 bedrooms and what?
You're adding 7 bedrooms.
Oh, right, because the downstairs has 2.
Correct.
Oh, you was talking about it, right? And the downstairs has another 2 bathrooms and another 2 bedrooms, right? You're right. Okay, so I'm adding another bathroom downstairs, so it's 7 bathrooms total, right? It's 3 upstairs And
What I
don't
said
have the
was you
plan
have
in front of me.
16 toilets and 8 showers.
Are you including what's downstairs in the shul right now?
It's in the
Louis,
house.
can you
It's gonna be
repeat
part of
those
the house.
numbers, please?
It's 10 bedrooms, 16 toilets, 8 showers, and 2 laundry rooms on the house side.
Okay. on the
16
house side.
toilets on the house side?
Yep. There's 8 in the
I
basement,
don't-
alone, 9 in the basement alone. There's 4 urinals, 4.
Oh, you're talking about,
ladies' room.
right, okay, those can be taken out. That's not gonna be, I'm not gonna need those anymore. I'm saying if we get this approved and we move into the, and, and the house of worship goes into the new part, then, those toilets can be taken out. There's a totally, I mean, I would need one toilet. I'm most probably gonna use it as a playroom for my children, and add those steps back down to the basement.
Right.
So we're not gonna need that. We can remove that if you need.
I mean, you're looking at 34 toilets. The entire building.
Right, okay, so on the new extension, I mean, I don't think we have too much there. We have four bathroom, 4 toilets, and I think it's 4 urinals for the first floor, second floor, and then in the women's section on the 3rd floor.
Correct. You have 18 toilets in the new section.
Yeah. Okay, well, that makes sense for that. And on the house side, again, anything that's in the existing basement right now will be removed. I mean, I don't need it. I would use it rather as storage room or whatever, or something else. It's just a waste of space.
Lou, I only count 10 in the proposed house of worship.
On the first floor, next to the kiddush hall, you have 4 toilets and 4 urinals.
I just see 4 toilets.
And on the wall, there's 4 urinals opposite the toilets.
Oh, I see them. Okay, I got it.
The second floor, you have 4 urinals and 4 toilets. That's 16. And on the 3rd floor, you have
Two toilets, yeah.
3 at the women's room. I believe you have
There's 2.
2 toilets, which makes 18 total.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 18. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
So it's 10 toilets, 4 urinals.
No, it's 8 toilets, 8 men's toilets. It's 10 toilets and 8 urinals.
8 urinals, right. I'm sorry, yeah.
18 total. Wait a second, 19. There's one at the back of the kiddush hall.
Oh, yeah, look at that, in the basement.
Yep.
All right, well, we'll take a look and we'll see what we can eliminate if it seems excessive to you. And
Well, based on the numbers of congregants, that's an excessive amount of bathrooms unless they're serving Mexican food.
yeah, I agree.
Do we show them? I'm sorry, do we show the maximum number?
What?
Quick question, do we indicate on the site plan the maximum number of congregants?
That's a good question.
Because that's typically, we have that provided on the plan.
What do we have on the plan?
152 seats.
Right.
Based on the square footage.
Yeah, but that's we've calculated 152 seats. That's based upon your three seats or 1 seat per 15 square feet. I think that was the.
It's 1 seat per 20 square feet.
Okay. So I think that's why we're showing the 152 seats is because based upon the square footage of space for residential worship, that's what's required.
Correct.
I don't think the demand is that high. And if you look at our supplement, Rabbi, how many congregants do you have?
As we wrote on the thing, I have about 75 people only Shabbos morning. That Saturday morning services, that's my biggest amount of people is 70. You know, sometimes someone makes, let's say, a special kiddush. If you know, if someone had a baby or something, you know, they'll make a special kiddush and there'll be some extra people. That happens, you know, once in a few months. You know, someone will make a kiddush and we'll have maybe 100 people. But my regular congregants are 75 people max on Shabbos morning, and throughout the week we have about 20 people at each services, which is in the morning, as we wrote on the narrative, 7:30, and then we have at sundown, we have also about 20 people. So our regular amount of people is about 20. You know, if let's say if there's a bris, let's say that's a circumcision and at a morning service, you know, then we'll have again 50 to 70 people, you know, but a regular weekday, we have about 20 people at our services. And, you know, Shabbos is when it's the peak, and that's Saturday morning.
When we discovered this shul via search warrant 4 years ago, there was 115 seats in the men's section and 30 seats in the women's section set up the day we were there.
There still is. That doesn't mean that I have extra seats. I mean, it's just here. You know, I bought a lot of chairs and they're there. That doesn't mean that that's how many people come. I mean, on a regular Shabbos morning, we have 2 women that come to the women's section, which is, you know, which could fit about 20 or 30 people in there. You know, and I have 5 tables set up. You know, I mean, if you walk into any church, they have set up for a lot of people. That doesn't mean that it's full every time. If I have seats, does not mean that there's actually people there. I'm telling you the exact amount of people what we have. I mean, I could get you if you would like to see it I could get you a membership list and show it to you. You'll see what we're talking about. This is, you know, I wish, as a rabbi, I wish I would have 130 people every Shabbos morning. You know, I want it to grow, but that's the fact. I'm just telling you the fact.
Okay.
And
well, based on that, can I ask you a question? Why is the room capable of holding 152?
Which on
my
size the room?
Guys, if I could interject, Paul, there's obviously a companion justice court matter. So I don't know if your client wants to be discussing all of this as freely as he is. I think the CDRC appreciates the openness, but not to tell you how to do your job. Just you know, again, there's an open justice court matter, and obviously all of this could wind up being used in that.
Okay.
Paul,
Okay,
I don't know if that complicates things for you, Paul, but you know, I think you should be the one discussing this.
Well, I mean, the one thing I agree with you is this is not really the forum to discuss those issues, but you know, these are 4-year-old violations, many of which I understand were fixed within a month of the initial violation notice. But you know, we will address them and we'll work things out. I mean, I understand there was a search warrant. I understand there was an inspection. I haven't seen the return on that warrant, but you know, again, I agree. Let's leave that for the justice court. But we're just trying to address the number of seats and why we put down 152 seats, and that's required due to the size of the space. And you know, can we shrink it down if our number of congregants are only going to be 75? I don't. We got to explore that with the rabbi. Obviously, You don't want to cram people into a small spot. You like to have plenty of room. But having plenty of room doesn't equate with, maximizing the number of seats based upon the square footage. We're just using I guess that's a building code requirement, Lou?
Actually, that's a local code requirement is the 20 square feet. The state is 15 square feet, which means the number would be even higher.
Yeah. So, that number is based upon what we're required to put in, whether we use it
Right.
that way or not. That's what we have to show
Correct.
by your local law.
Correct. But 20 square feet per person is pretty generous. I mean, that's why I'm asking if there's only 75 people, why does the room have to be that big?
Well, I'll certainly discuss it with the rabbi and we'll take a look at it. We'll address these, your comments regarding the bathrooms and we'll see what can be done with regard to the size of the space.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Paul, are you representing the property owner in the Justice Court matter?
I will be appearing on behalf of the property owner in the Justice Court matter, and I will file a notice of appearance.
Okay.
All right, so where do we go from here? You want us to come back one more time, or can we go to the planning board and start getting public input and get reviews by the DPW and the county health and Rockland County sewer? Because I assume, Suzanne, you don't send those out until we're ready to go to planning board?
That's correct.
So my question is, are we good to go to the planning board?
Lou, John?
I guess I'll start. So from an engineering standpoint, a lot of the comments on the site plan, I think, have been addressed. There's a few remaining. I guess I would kind of more defer to Lou because, there's questions and concerns about the number of fixtures and the fact that we need 7 variances. I don't know that's going to change between now and next month. So if I think I would defer to whether Lou would like to see it back here before we go to planning board, or whether we can just go to planning board. From a site plan perspective, I think most of the comments have been addressed.
Well, from a Lou, the only reason I brought up the number of toilets and the variance is related to the variances needed. It's beyond excessive. So if there is going to make a valid attempt to make it smaller or to make it work on the site, I mean, then we can go to another CDRC. If there's not going to be an attempt and this is what we're sticking with, then go to planning.
I mean, Paul, you guys can still make, you guys can still make reductions even if you're before the board, no?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So, I mean, I would just like to see, listen, my position always is the more input from outside agencies, the better off we are. The more input from neighbors that you get from the public hearing, it's always helpful in developing the site plan. So I like to, get to the planning board and get to the reviews by the outside agencies. So it just helps us in developing the site plan, because we can sit here and talk about issues, but until we know what other things may came up, it doesn't really help us. So we would like to get to the planning board. We would like to start the secret process, and we would like to get input from not only the planning board members, but the outside agencies as well as the public. So I think the sooner we can do that, the better off we would be.
And the the reductions that Lou was asking for, are those going to be actually entertained? I think his concern is that this gets shotgunned to the planning board and then those sort of go ignored.
No, we've never ignored Lou's comments. We've never ignored anybody's comments. Obviously, we're gonna take a look at it, and if it's something that we can make accommodations on, we will. If it's something that we can't, we'll tell you that, you know, we don't want to make these changes and we want to go with the application as is. So I'm just, you know, looking ahead. The next planning board meeting, Suzanne, is the end of April that we could make possibly.
It's April 27th is the next planning board meeting. I already have 3 applications. I'm just letting you know. Maybe 2. I don't have that in front of me because I'm home, but I know there's at least 2, possibly 3 already. I believe the deadline for that, I took the wrong year home with me. I took 2022 by accident. I'll email you the deadline date in March. I believe it's the 23rd, but I have to double check. The 23rd or the 27th to go to, it's got to be the 23rd because, but let me email you after the meeting if that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I guess unless we're going to modify it, I don't think there'd be any new submission materials. Has a formal application been filed for planning board approval? Or is this only informal applications?
On the last meeting, you did an application. I don't have that file with me.
All right, we'll take a look and if we're not going to do anything and we're going to proceed to the planning board with these plans, then I'll let you know. And
Okay.
then, you know, we'll take it from there, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Lou,
Okay.
are you good with that?
Okay. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. It's good to see you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Eliza. The next application is Yosef Beer, 5 Beaver Hollow Lane, for proposed residential house of worship for proposed site plan and architecturals. The last meeting, we needed to review the architecturals. There's a letter from the fire inspector and then from John for the village planner engineer.
Good morning, everybody. Brian Condon on behalf of the applicant, Yosef Beer. At the last meeting, we had submitted some of our revisions prior to the meeting, but it wasn't in enough time to give the members time to comment. So we adjourned it for today. We received your comments, and I know Rachel is here, and we're willing to address and hear anything else that you have. Actually, I have one comment. I think for the first time for the fire inspector, they talk about accessory structure will be utilized as a mean of ingress and egress, and will have a lot of use from the occupants. Mendy, is that actually our intention? Are we intending to use the proposed deck as a way of ingress and egress?
Partly. Yes, actually, yes. Yes, we are.
So with regards to the finishes, we could get that.
Yeah,
we
that's
get them more
fine.
information.
Yeah, well, that could be taken care of for the building permit. It's nothing. It's not really for now.
But I think, Mendy, he's gonna comment again when you submit for planning on the same thing. So you're better
We'll
off.
address it. We'll address it for planning. Sure.
Did we lose Rachel? Oh, she
No,
is.
she's
No,
there. She's muted.
I'm here. I
Okay,
was just
sorry.
muted. I'm here to answer any questions you have.
You moved on the Hollywood Squares. You were down left and now you're upper right.
Oh, okay. I'm on the top of mine.
All right.
John, do you want to go over your letter?
Sure. So this was a resubmittal and a number of comments I think have been addressed. There's a few that we have pertaining to the engineering on the site plan and some general planning comments. Comment one is that there are variances required. They need to be secured by the ZBA if granted, and that those variances individually need to be shown on the site plan with the date of issuance by the ZBA if they're inclined to do so. I believe at the last set of review comments, we did ask the applicant to check into any ways possible to reduce and or eliminate the variances. I think they took a look at it, but have come back that they still need variances. So we did make an attempt to at least ask them to try to find ways to reduce the number of variances required. Comment two, this will require a secret resolution, unlisted action, public hearing. I know that the response was that there are no wetlands on the site. We asked that a note be put on the plans. I think the letter said it would be put on, but I didn't see it on there yet. So under the engineering, the design of the retaining wall, I believe the engineer wants to kind of defer that to building permit, but I think we need, and I'm all right with that as far as technically, but I think even some sort of schematic on the plan as to the type of wall, whether it's like a unilock, the color of it, the height of it, so forth, because it will be visible from the public road. Comment two is asking, I think you need an additional wall pack because it looks like an area for ingress and egress from the site. So I think you need to add another fixture unless I'm missing something there. The plans need to show the maximum number of congregates on the plan. And then to take a look at the parking calculations based upon the maximum number of congregants. And then the usual comments, which will follow at planning board, which is, the local agency reviews, county health, county sewer.
Lou, did you confirm the number of variances, that we have all the variances? I didn't know if we went through that. I'm just looking from last time.
Lou, you're on mute.
I know, thank you. Yep, the variances appear to be correct.
And how many were there?
7.
I just want to confirm I had the right number.
John, just noting your engineering comment number 3 is actually on the site plan. There's a parking calculation with that includes a number of congregants.
Okay. All right. So I'll when you submit the revised plans, I'll just take a quick look at that. I think I missed it.
I think otherwise seems pretty much everything is satisfied, right?
Yeah, we'd like to move forward if we could.
I would just like to say, we typically keep no more than 5 applications on an agenda due to the interest of time. For the March planning board meeting, I have 5. I don't know what will be continued. I have 3 already on for the April meeting plus the last application. I'm not saying you can't submit. I just don't know that we will get to you, because if anything is continued, the continued applications go first on the agenda. So I just wanted you to know that.
No, understood. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, because if something's not heard, if you're on the agenda and if you're not heard by 11 PM, you automatically go to the next agenda. So I know that was a concern for CDRC because we have to limit the number because then we create a backlog in planning and zoning. So I just wanted to let everyone know for the record.
All right, I think we're going to submit, and then obviously
Okay.
we understand that.
That's fine. That's fine. John and Lou, do you have any issue going to planning board? No,
No.
okay.
The next planning board date is April when? Just for my,
We have March 20th, next Monday, April 27th.
April 27th.
Yes, that's
Got
a
it. Thank you.
Thursday, the fourth Thursday.
Actually, Suzanne, is it possible that I reach out to you early next week to see how many matters have been carried over? That will give us a good idea.
Sure, yeah. I'll know after Monday night.
It's only a couple of days away.
Right.
Thank you.
And I'll resend the planning dates to you and Mendy and Rachel.
I
good.
think no, I don't have the full schedule, I think.
I just got the May date yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right.
That
Yeah,
was missing in July. The chairman has not proposed July dates, but we'll get there as we get closer.
all right. Thank you.
Very
You're
good.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so I guess we're done with that application. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Okay, so the next application is the town building. It's a proposed office building at 233 Route 59. And they submitted a proposed sketch plan. I did put in the packets. This had been before the planning board back in 2016. I don't know that it's the same exact configuration, but it was for an office building. Lou, you might have a better recollection than I do.
I don't know if anyone else is on for this, but I will start with the presentation. So as Suzanne said, it's a site plan. They had proposed, it was through Leonard Jackson Associates at the time. They had started and kind of put it on hold for a while. Now they're looking to pick back up. Property is kind of like between town hall and the shopping center with the Challenger Center, just for kind of placement. They're proposing a office building of 6,000 square feet total. The existing house on the property would be removed. It's NS zone, so the local office business is permitted use. They would need 30 parking spaces. They provided 26. It's like 23 plus 3 that are land banks, just kind of, they think that 23 would be sufficient, but they can fit the extra 3. And there are some variances that are required.
John, do you want to go through your letter?
yes. Under the planning portion of the review comments, this is going to be an unlisted action under seeker and will require a seeker resolution. Comment 2, believe I counted 6 variances for this particular site, which seems to me to be excessive. And we've asked the applicant to look into ways to potentially reduce the number of variances requested. Comment 3, this is a first submittal, but we did receive a generous landscaping and the lighting plan. So they're satisfactory to us. They've demonstrated that there's adequate lighting, and I think the landscaping plan was pretty generous. Comment 5 notes that the EAF identifies this as a remediation site that's automatically done by the DEC under the EAF mapper. So I'm just asking you to please clarify exactly what that is, if anything, but it did come up as a hit on the EAF mapper. And then comment 6 is noting that this is subject to county planning because it's has access onto state highway. Under the engineering comments, I looked on the plan. Sometimes it's hard to see, and when you're doing electronic review, but I didn't see any calculations on zero increase I know we're proposing underground infiltration, but we need those calculations to make sure that there's no net increase in runoff. I do believe there's a proposed freestanding sign, so we need a sign detail. When it's appropriate, we need the agency reviews. That's comment 3. And we asked for a fire truck turning radius plan. Is number 4 to show the water and sewer utilities. I didn't see them on the plan. I do believe there was an erosion and sediment control plan, which showed the stabilized construction entrance and silt fencing and so forth. We're just adding that a soil stockpile location be added. And I think you're calling out the stabilized construction entrance on all the sheets where it doesn't actually exist. Maybe you forgot to just turn that layer off on the
Yeah,
different.
we'll update that.
So, I mean, for a first submittal, I think they did a good job at the landscaping and lighting and grading and so forth. But we just have some other technical comments to address.
Lou, did you have anything?
No, not on, based on this, I don't have a whole lot. Fire truck accessibility will not be, there will be no turning radius. You can't pull in because the parking's under the building. So the truck will not be able to pull in further than the apron.
The parking's above the building or under the
Under.
building? Okay, that was the issue last time.
Yep,
That was that, now that you say that, that was the issue last time.
yep. So the truck, which is, can't get more than 50, I don't know what kind of access they're gonna have with 50 feet basically between them and the building.
We're definitely going to be looking for the fire department comments on this one, correct?
Yes, yes.
Did you send it to the fire department yet, or?
Yeah, I did. The
Okay.
issue is they were traveling and he couldn't get me the comments before the meeting. So
Okay.
he said he would try to get them after or for the next submission, whether it be
Okay.
CDRC.
Okay,
So
no
I'll
problem.
make sure you get them.
Thank you.
Honestly, I do recall that being the issue at the planning board meeting.
All right,
Okay,
the truck is too tall to get under the building. They're also gonna have to sprinkler the garage itself with an exterior sprinkler. Because you got cars parked under the building.
Okay. All right, so I guess this one's gonna do more detail and come back to CDRC, am I correct?
I think so.
All right, and I'll make sure I get the fire letter to you, Rachel.
okay, thank you.
Do you, I noticed on the what do you call it? The application, it was just you and Coleman. There's no attorney on this application as of yet?
Calman, are you on here? Can you answer? I'm not aware of an attorney yet, but they.
Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Yes,
well,
I'm
wait.
here. There's no
Okay, hi,
attorney.
Colin. All I ask is that when you do resubmit, if you do secure someone, you just make sure that the application is completed fully. That's all.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right, great. So we'll resubmit and return.
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you. And
Thank
you'll
you.
just send the fire comments when you get them, right? Like you won't wait till.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I'm gonna
perfect.
remind them.
Okay, great. So we could try to. take
Yeah,
it-
find out what the detail is. Yes,
Thank you.
you're
Thanks.
welcome.
All
Have a
right,
good
have a
day.
good day.
You too. Okay, the next application is 10 DeBon LLC for 10 South DeBon Ave, the 2 office buildings. I just have to get Eve on and Valerie. John, you're doing the next one, so I don't know if you want to just stay on or what. Oh, Eve, is that your phone number on? No, that's not Eve. I'm just gonna mute myself real quick. She's logging on. I was just calling her and she's logging on.
Hi, Suzanne, it's Amy. The phone number you see might be me because I'm dialing.
Oh,
in.
yes, okay. I knew I recognized the number, but I couldn't figure out who it was. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Amy, if you want to start, that's fine.
Sure. So what I'm going to do, Suzanne, is I'm going to go through your minutes from the February 14th meeting, and
Okay.
I'll answer what I can. And then do we have Justin or Avi on the line?
I see
Hi,
Avi.
it's Avi Weinberg. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. Thanks, Avi. So I'll answer what I can, and if I need to punt something to Avi, I will punt it to him. So the first remark is that everything should be consistently labeled. We agreed on 10 DeBon, formerly Allegro Office Building, because that's the name of the corporation. It doesn't include the S for South DeBon. I believe everybody agreed on that, and I believe that that has been done and everything is now labeled as such. The second comment is that you need originals of the fire lane and corporate resolution, which I will deliver to you or have delivered to you,
Okay.
the originals, after the meeting.
Yeah, that's not urgent.
Okay. The inspection fees and stormwater fees. So I did an assignment of sale, or an assignment actually, of the escrow fees, which I ran by you and Mr. Zitt, which I think everybody thought was okay. The problem is we're having a hard time getting somebody from Allegro LLC to sign off on it. If we can't get anybody, we'll replace the escrow.
Okay, but
All right.
I'm jumping ahead to one of Eve's comments. We have to readjust the numbers because she made adjustments to the cost estimates. But she'll go through
Right.
that when we get,
So
okay,
So in any event, we'll either, if we assign what's already there and we need extra, we'll give you the extra. If we can't assign it, then we'll just give you the new amount that you calculate.
okay, got it.
Okay. So number 4 had to do with the test pits, and I know there was some back and forth between Avi and Eve on this. I believe this has been addressed. Avi, is that correct?
Yeah, basically the test pits, went to the bottom 2 feet below the grade, 2 feet below the bottom of these chambers. And we're raising the grade there. That's why we went as deep as we went, if that's what you're talking about.
Yes. Eve, is that your understanding? Are you okay with that?
You're muted, Eve.
Yes, sorry. Avi and I had a conversation. Thank you.
Okay, great. Number 5 is also an Avi issue. Village engineer noted that there appears to be a discrepancy. Unsure if it's a drafting error. Drawing number 3 is showing pre-treatment of 6 units, but only 5 are shown. Water levels have 10 shown, but go to page 11, they only show 7. And then you are down to 4 sediment tanks. There appears to be varying numbers. Need to reevaluate the final design. I believe everything was fixed except we just got, Eve was nice enough to go through everything that she got yesterday. And I think that there might be still a discrepancy on the drawing between 6 and 5. Is that right?
Yeah, the plan still has to be cleaned up a little bit.
Okay, Avi, you'll talk Eve
Yeah,
about
just
that.
hang on 1 second. Oh, okay, I can't share my screen here, but yeah, I have a markup here. There were some drafting errors. We're gonna clarify that, it's really 5. It's supposed to be 5 pre-treatments. We're also gonna show, I know in the details, there seems to be some confusion as to how many leaching wells there are. We're just showing it's a cross-section of leaching wells 1 through 7, but there still are 10, and we'll just make that clearer.
Why don't you just put like a break line within the run of the pits and label them through 10 rather than only labeling them through 7? And just add a break line so the contractor knows that there's in fact 10 there, not only 7.
Well, I mean, what we have is on the actual grading plan, what we put in here, where we're going to put in is basically just a cross-sectional line from 1 through 7 that just shows that's what it is. And just end it there. And we'll label that there's a cross-section line of 1 through 7.
Okay, seems easier just to put a break line in it, but that either would suffice.
You're
as
saying
long
put a
as the
break line in
contractor
on the
knows-
detail. You're saying
As
just put
long
a
as the
break line in.
contractor understands how many to put in and there's no problem in the field.
Yeah. Okay,
Avi, so you're saying you can put a break line in the detail?
is Eve, that's what you're saying, right? To put a brake line
Yeah,
in?
it seems to me easier to do it that way,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
either way would suffice, whatever you think would be presented in, more clear manner.
yeah,
Okay, so we'll rectify that. The next comment was water treatment at the top of system revised at 443, so lower pits more than 50% out of ground and above the back of the curb. They need to reevaluate the entire system as there appears to be conflicts. The treatment systems differ between sheets 3 and 11 and need to be revised. I believe that was done. Is that right, Avi?
well, that was the hot box and the water connection?
This is the water treatment system.
I believe that, I just remember there seemed to have been, two different sets going around that showed some of the water stuff in different locations, but yeah, that was resolved.
So now the hot box is shown to the left side of the driveway, but the water lines should be shown continuing out to the water main that's existing in the road. And then the other water line that was previously shown from the old hot box should be removed.
Yeah,
The old water line from
Okay.
the old hot box needs to be removed, right? Okay.
Yeah, there's just a kind of a proposed water line floating. It's just drafting. And
yeah,
then the water line connections from the location of the proposed hot box have to be shown.
yeah.
Connections. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Number 7 was Valerie's question. She wanted to confirm the height. And we did send from the architect, I'm sorry, I think it was only yesterday, but it was, they did a picture elevation, but then I asked them to do an elevation with the heights on all sides, which we sent in yesterday. And I think, Suzanne, you got that?
Yeah, I sent it.
Okay, great. Does that satisfy Valerie?
I don't know if it has to show the measurements, though. It didn't seem to have it, but I don't do this, so I don't know. Leave it to the.
It was only the front elevation had the 30 feet total height. The other elevations didn't list total.
Right, and I think that's what's been the issue all along.
Yeah, and that's what I've asked for all along. I'm sorry. I will make sure the architect gets you the heights from every elevation.
Yeah, I mean,
from
because right
well,
now,
from
I
every
mean, I'm
side of
looking
the
at,
building.
right, the newest one has, I believe, it says front elevation of building A, and it has rear elevation of building A. And then it has front elevation of building B and rear elevation of building B. But,
So you want sides.
right,
What did you
You
say,
want
Amy?
the
I couldn't
sides.
hear you. You want the sides, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
so we
because there's a
need
lot of
the sides.
regrading, right, there's a lot of regrading
Yeah.
taking place on that site, and it is exactly, 30 feet. So we just need to
Right.
confirm that.
Sure,
And
okay. So you have A and B front and rear. You need A and B on the sides.
Right,
both
and now
sides.
I'm personally okay. I mean, I know there's other elements, but I'm personally okay if that can be just submitted as part of, like, when you go for the building permit and it's making sure that it meets the code. I'm okay without having it to come back to CDRC.
Okay, thank you.
And then
So-
Amy, the only other item on the architectural was the sprinkling. It says it's not going to be sprinkled on the
Yeah.
architecturals, but the site plan says it
Yeah,
is.
they're rectifying that now, so
Okay.
we will, when we submit the other building elevations, we'll make sure that they've corrected that.
I
on
just want to
their
make sure
plans
so you
as
don't have to
well.
do it another time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So let me just make the note, sprinkler on architectural plans. Okay. Okay, number 8 was the open area underneath the building. It is going to be basically a concrete area that is going to have tables and chairs, seating for employees. And I think I stated that in a response that I gave earlier.
Mhm.
If you want like a visual depiction of it, we can get you that.
We did receive a visual from the architect, but it's not noted on the plans, on the site plans at all.
Okay, Avi, can you take care of just noting the concrete area between the two buildings to be utilized as, you know, seating area for employees? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. So number 9 is the fire department letters and the sprinkler issue. To be clear, both buildings will be sprinklered. The architectural drawings will be corrected to match the site plan. I believe the site plan is, you know, accurate at this point now you know, with respect to the sprinklers, and I'll make sure the architectural drawings indicate those as well.
I
Okay.
believe there was a note regarding showing where the standpipe locations are as well. I didn't see those on the plans.
Oh, right, okay, Avi, can we,
That's part of the sprinkler system. So when that's added, it should be on the architectural plan and on the site plan.
all right, so the stand types on site plan and architecturals. Okay, so let me just very quickly recap what we need to do. I'll work with Suzanne, you know, if we don't get the assignment of sale, then, you know, we'll replace the escrow and we'll give any additional amounts. I'll get her the originals of the fire lane and the corporate resolution. Do you need stormwater too, or did I get your original of that?
I didn't get the original of that. I was gonna bring that up. I believe, Eve, you
Okay.
approved Schedule A, but I just need the original and then I can have the mayor sign it and we'll go through the process. And it's the same thing. If you can't get the assignment of sale, then we'll need an escrow check, but we'll deal with that behind
Sure.
the scenes.
Okay, so you need originals of stormwater agreement, corporate resolution, yeah, that you still need.
And the fire.
And the
lane.
fire lane agreement. Yep. Assignment of sale, like I said, if we can't get the former owner to sign off, we'll replace the escrow. Number 5, drawing number 3, I think Avi and Eve have determined how we're going to fix that. Again, the water treatment system, Avi and Eve, I think it's clear how we need to fix the site plan for that. On the elevations, we're going to give you buildings A and B, both side elevations. You have the front and rear, you need the sides. On the seating area, we need to indicate that on both the architectural plans and the site plan. And we need to indicate on the architectural plans and the site plan the standpipe for the sprinklers. And the architectural drawings need to be updated to show the sprinklers. And I think with that, if we can get you all that, you know, which is largely just, you know, drafting and me getting original documents to Suzanne, I think we'll be in a position for chairman's endorsement without having to come back to another CDRC, but I'll leave it to you as to whether or not you agree.
Okay, and there's one more item, Amy. You have to have
Oh, and
the cost estimates updated that Eve sent back this morning in the email I gave you. She adjusted
yes,
them,
update
so they
them.
need to be adjusted so that when we look at the numbers, what we have on the books already versus the other, we have the right numbers to compare.
So Avi, you can you take Eve's cost estimates and plug those in and then update them?
Yeah,
Well, it's essentially the same cost estimate you did, only the math didn't add up. I only changed one, I think one line item. I changed the unit cost. Everything else was as submitted.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so we'll use that
It's
one.
just the math didn't total, I just checked the math.
Got it.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
So Lou, Eve, Valerie, do you feel that this can be done behind the scenes, or you want them to come back? I leave it up to you.
I'm gonna defer to Eve on this one.
Yeah, I think we can do it behind the scenes,
Okay,
seems pretty straightforward. We'll take a look. Make sure all the revisions were made, but I don't think they have to come back personally.
I don't
Lou?
think so either.
okay. So then I'll just ask for a small number of sets with these changes for the three of you to review real quick before I
Great.
ask for the final sets for the chairman's endorsement.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Okay.
just one quick note, Suzanne, I'm going out of the country today for like 2 weeks. I will send a note to the owner to please drop you off the original copies of those documents while I'm away. So they may come in, separate.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. And when you come back, I'm gonna be out of the country. So yeah, so when you come back, then I'm out. But that's fine. They
All
can
right.
contact me.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate
Thank you. Have a safe
everybody's help.
trip.
Thank you very
Enjoy.
much. Take care, everyone.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye, thanks, Eve and Valerie.
Thank you so
Okay.
much,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye now.
Bye. Okay, the next and last application is for a sign plan for Kosher Hive at 250 Route 59 for the proposed grocery store. This is replacing where the old ShopRite was. It's in the shopping mall where the Walmart is. So, and this is also on for architectural tonight at 7 o'clock. All right, so you want to go through it? I know we have Mendy. I don't know if anybody else is on for this.
No, it's just me.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's a pretty simple, straightforward application. We are proposing to update the facade of the building and change the existing signs from ShopRite to the Kosher Hive. We provided a sign rendering, electrical detail, and whatever else you might want to see regarding that sign. Sizing, coloring, and the actual rendering of the building, how it's supposed to look.
John, you did a quick letter.
Yeah, so just one planning comment. This is clearly a type 2 action, so there's no seeker. In our opinion, this would be exempt from a seeker review. It's just a sign. But under the engineering comment, unless I'm seeing something wrong, the 21065 of the village code under signs indicates a maximum square footage for the sign. And based on what I reviewed for the dimensions, it appears as though this sign is considerably bigger than that. So not going to claim to be a sign expert because I don't review a lot of them, but what I saw indicated that it exceeds the maximum square footage. So I don't know if there's another section of code that gives relief or whether or not this sign is just too big.
Lou, isn't that the reason we go to the planning board?
Yes. If
Yeah,
it's
so
in the guidelines, I can issue the sign permit. Once it's bigger than anything I can issue, they have to go to the planning board for approval.
Okay, so is this something that's waiverable by the planning board, or does it have to be referred to the ZBA?
No, it could be waived by the planning board.
Okay. Got it.
So
Which is why they want to go to ARC tonight to have that portion completed. So when it goes to planning, they'll already see that it was done through ARC and hopefully get this done in one meeting.
Right.
No other comments, Lou? Nothing?
No.
This is not going to be illuminated, correct?
It is supposed to be illuminated.
It is.
Yeah, on the
So don't we-
detail that shows the.
Okay,
it's supposed to be illuminated.
I forgot that folder, so I don't have it. I'm sorry.
Internal LED lighting.
Okay.
Yeah,
Your description describes it as Pantone colored lettering. What is Pantone colored?
It's, well, as it says, orange is PMS number 1575. If you Google that, it comes up as Pantone, so.
Pantone is a color chart.
Oh, well then.
So Pantone is not a color, it's a color chart made by the Pantone company.
Ah, okay,
That's what PMS stands for.
got it. Okay, I'm not a professional in these things, so.
Yeah, I was
No
a printer
problem.
for 12 years, so I can tell you what Pantone colors are,
All right, well then it's number 1575, whatever that's supposed
which
to
is orange.
be. Orange it is.
And Lou, that LED needs planning board approval, correct?
It's internally lighted lights are legal.
Oh, they are, okay.
Yeah, they
I
are.
I
It's just
didn't know.
the size on this one is the problem. They're
It's
required
just the
to-
size.
Just the size. But I think it's similar in size to the ShopRite sign that was there.
I believe so. We're
I
pretty
don't
much
know.
just, I mean, it's a different shape, but yeah, we're
Right.
pretty much just replacing the existing.
The ShopRite signs were round, but I think it's very close in size to the ShopRite sign. It's not ridiculously. Which
Right.
is surprising. I mean, we usually go for ridiculous.
Trying to keep it simple this time.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, no
Um,
other comments?
this,
all right.
this needs a public hearing, right?
I believe so. Anything
Yes.
that goes to the planning board typically does get a public hearing. So it does have to be noticed. It also needs a GML because it's off of Route 59, and I checked that for you before you submit it. So I do have to send out for comments.
Okay.
Mendy, is there an attorney with this?
For planning, we're probably gonna have Kevin Conway.
Okay. If that's the case,
What's
just
wrong, Lou?
update.
Sorry, I rolled my eyes.
All right.
Okay. Kevin is on the application, so.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go from here.
Um,
Anybody have anything else? So this can go, they can submit for planning, John and Lou? Okay,
Fine by me.
all right.
all righty. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Stay
Take care.
safe and stay warm.
Thanks.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Have a nice
Have
day,
a good
everyone.
day,
Take care.
everyone. Take care.
Enjoy
Okay,
the
thank
snow.
you. Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.